It is Probellum Fight Week. Paul Smith is here and we've got the champ, Sonny Edwards, in your adopted home city. How good does that feel? You're fighting here in Sheffield, in front of your fans, your supporters, the gym. It's local to you.
Yeah, to be honest, it was my choice. Obviously, when the Martinez fight fell through and we cancelled our flights to Mexico, we was talking about London. I fought in London a few times. But really, as an adult, my hometown has been Sheffield. I've been here 8 years now. You know, the faces I see every day and have spent my whole adult life are up here. So, you know, maybe I took a little bit of a gamble thinking, I didn't know how the support would go in comparison. If I'm honest, you know, I've never sold a show like this. I've never had the sort of the buzz and the interest for probably any of my fights, really, like in the sense of the event. I think people are going to be quite surprised at the turnout for this show. I think we've done well with tickets. There's a lot of people even now still sort of hounding on Ticketmaster. I've been checking the seat map and it's been getting less and less and less. So yeah, there's a big buzz. Having my son ring me, well, not off his phone, but having my 3-year-old son ring me yesterday and tell me that he's seen my picture on the bus and he was all excited, saying, there's my daddy, and his mum was going, what do you mean, he's in the gym? And then she turns around and I'm there, you know, right bang next to him on the side of the bus. So all of that is something that I wouldn't really get building a show that's not from where I'm living. Even like the sense of, you know, I'm looking forward to the public workout later, the press conference. There's going to be a lot of people coming down because it's easy, it's local. Normally when I'm fighting in London, I'm spending the whole year up here and then heading down for fight week. So it's almost not that organic. But since I've been up here, I think I've made a decent impression in Sheffield boxing. I've you know, I mean, I manage a few fighters and all 3 of them are on the undercard as well. A couple of local lads and Thomas Asomba, my old opponent, now turned gym mate and managed fighter. Yeah, it's to be able to bring boxing back to Sheffield, world title boxing. I mean, I'm one of the very few world champions in the country, so I'm the only one in Sheffield. So yeah, like I said, the buzz has been here and I can't wait for it, to be honest.
I mean, Paul, you know what it's like the buzz of fighting in your hometown, your home city, in front of the home fans.
Yeah, sometimes, not the pressure, but sometimes it was a bit of a hindrance, having to do so many tickets. Everyone's talking about it, everyone you see, especially like when it's a local derby, which I have, but everyone is, the first question they ask you, can't wait for the fight, or I've bought me tickets, or I'm there, and I know it might be a silly question to someone like yourself, but does the pressure ever get to you?
Now, I'll be real, I'm in a position where I'm running for a limited company, so I've got staff, so all the ticket drop-offs I don't have to do anyway, so it's all been work. I've been running 2 phones, but apart from that, it's been good. I've even planned a whole after party for it as well, just to make the night, because I think a lot of people, they miss out on trying to make the whole event special, the whole night special. I've got people travelling from different countries, I've got people travelling from London in numbers, up from Scotland in numbers, so, you know, giving them something to stay in Sheffield for the night for, get their hotel, it just adds to the show. And I think, yeah, like I said, everyone's excited about it. Seeing the billboards and that, and it was funny actually. One of the biggest billboards that they've put up was literally 30 seconds from my ex-girlfriend's front door. We are friends and she's actually coming to the fight, but I did find it funny. I'm like, imagine if we hated each other, that would have been a killer. But no, like, I'll be real, this is probably the first event as a pro boxer where, like, I genuinely feel like the main event. Do you know what I mean? I've always been sort of supporting cast. I was always trying to shift tickets from Sheffield with people I haven't seen, and it's quite hard to, you know, only see people when they come into your fights and keep that sort of momentum of organic support going. I've got my whole life up here now, really, and a lot of people ready to come out and support, and I think even all the undercard fighters have done well, and like, I'm genuinely really looking forward to this event, probably more than any event I've actually been a part of. And I know it's a real hard fight, it's a tough fight, one as well that I probably won't even get the credit for that I deserve for the level of fight that it is, but you know, that's out of my control, so I don't try and, you know, influence that too much. But like I said, really looking forward to it. Driving past the arena every single day to get to the gym, seeing my face on the buses and on the billboards and where I'm actually living, it makes it seem a lot realer, do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, you mentioned, you know, it is a tough fight. He's a former world champion. He's wanting to become two-weight world champion, so there's a lot riding on it for him. Just sort of going into this fight, is this any different from any of your previous defences? This will be your third defence of your title. Is this any different going into it? He's a tough challenger.
Of course he is, but at this level there's been no easy fights. I think you can even tell by the trajectory of my career that easy fights isn't something that I'm even bothered about. I don't want easy touches, I don't want easy nights work. Complacency will always be the thing that kills me. When I've got a real live threat in there, when I've got a killer in there, is when every single time you see the best come out of me. You see me sort of be doing things that I haven't even been doing when I haven't needed to. I don't approach any opponent, any fighter any differently. I genuinely believe that what I do, you know, it can't be replicated. They can't get sparring for it. The way I read and break down fighters and fights, I think it's so out of what's out there, especially at my weight. I don't even look, I don't even watch footage because, you know, I could name all my opponents, like especially the scary ones, your Maruti, Alvarado now, your Mamas, they've had great performances left, right and centre where if I'm sat there studying how they beat him and him and him, you know what I mean, I might be half scared getting into the ring, but when I get in the ring, that same opponent is always different. It's never what they were doing before, because I box differently, my range is different, my reactions are different, my approach is different. Yeah, so I don't focus really on the opponent, and I don't really buy into the whole pressure. I don't really buy into the, oh, this is hard. Like, I'm a career athlete. I've done nothing really outside of boxing every single week, every single day pretty much, since I was 9 years old. I'd like getting in the ring and having a fight isn't the worst thing that's happening this week. If anything, it's the best thing that's happening this week, genuinely. I would have fought, as soon as I finished camp, I would have fought the next day if it was up to me. Like, if anything, the waiting for 2-3 weeks, not sparring and not training properly, that's the worst. That drives you mad. Yeah. I just want to get, like, I'm here, I'm buzzing, I never get to fight week and I'm doomy and gloomy. It's, if anything, these are the only weeks of boxing I get to enjoy, and then I get to be a normal person for a few weeks on the other side of it, do you know what I mean? So, like I said, it's no pressure to me, whether there's 50 people which I box in front of, 500, 5,000, 50,000, 500,000. I really don't care. I get in a boxing ring and I do what I do. Everything, it just goes blank. It's empty noise. It's like white silence to me.
Well, you say you're a very different fighter, you've got a different mindset. Paul, you've got to agree, on a fight week, Sonny is different in the way he is than a lot of fighters, especially people who are headlining in the lead up to a fight, and the way he fights in the ring. Yeah,
that's why I said it was a bit of a silly question when I asked him about the pressure. You know, either you're a great actor or you really are genuine and it doesn't get to you. But the question I wanted to ask also from a boxing perspective is, do you think you've got another level or two?
Yeah,
obviously you're world champion.
I think physically, like, I think my IQ and my comfortability under pressure in the ring over the 12 rounds is always growing. I train hard and I'm doing stuff the outside of the stuff. Like, I've got a nutritionist that works for me full time now. You know what I mean? He brings my meals, he tells me what time to eat. I'm eating 5-6 meals a day, having the protein shakes, having 4 litres of fluid, and I'm waking up 0.6 overweight today. Like, genuinely, no, try and make it sound good or make me sound more better or try and put fear into Alvarado, because he probably doesn't understand much English. So that's just me being honest. Like, I don't really lie. I don't have conversation where I need to lie. So yeah, I'm doing a lot of things better as I'm getting maturing. I'm loving boxing more and more. I feel like now I'm in a position where I can sort of, you know, really chase down the biggest fights. There's no room for error, so I don't, you know what I mean, I don't allow the room for error. But genuinely, I believe with physical maturity, you know, I was a late developer. You know, I'm 26, probably still look about 19. Do you know what I mean? So I've got a long way to go, I think. I think I'll be around for a long time. And now I'm in a position where I can fight, and then I can make sure I'm really fit and really in the best position for the next time I get in the ring. You know, coming up when you're, you know, earning your 4 grand or your 6 grand or your 8 grand, and you've got kids to feed, and, you know, you're kind of pressuring yourself back into the ring just to survive, you know what I mean? I've always been a full-time boxer, so now I'm in a position where I can actually rest in between and get my, you know, any little niggles and injuries, which we all have. I don't think there's a single boxer 17 years into a pro career, a boxing career, that hasn't got probably 6 or 7 problem areas around their body that only them and their team know about. So if anything, yeah, I think I'm going to keep getting and showing levels, and my confidence is going up and up and up. And yeah, I need the opportunities to really showcase it. And with the only way in boxing you get that is with the opponents that, you know, people believe are going to beat you or believe is a 50-50 fight.
And topping the bills in your adopted hometown.
Oh, of course, that definitely helps. That definitely helps. I mean, this is the first time I've fought in a public, you know, not behind closed doors setting since Marcel Braithwaite in my British title fight. So this is like the first time I'm really going to have that, you know, crowd behind me. Again, the last couple of times I was pretty much the away fighter in front of however many thousand Filipinos, and then against Mohammed Wasim, I think he had a bigger support over in Dubai than me. So yeah, like it's, but none of that ever has fazed me. You know, you chuck me in the middle of Dubai, red hot, like it doesn't change anything.
It's a
like,
good atmosphere as well.
Yeah, but I'm ready to go anywhere. And I think I've proved that. I don't even like live off having my creature comforts. I think this will probably be my base outside of a big fight that might be able to do something at O2 in the UK. I'll probably keep bringing it back to Sheffield because, you know, I can have a big impact on the Sheffield boxing scene. I can bring the local fighters. I pretty much half put the card head to toe together. I told them who to put on, what fighters to get, you know, hence why 3 of my fighters are on.
And there was a time when Sheffield was booming, when Naz was here and Johnny Nelson and the likes from the English gym, and obviously we've had Kell Brooks since, but it was Dalton Smith's up here now, obviously, but it was never as good as it was then, and them times can come back, can't they?
Yeah, for sure.
And like fighters.
And I'll be real, I think a lot of the talent's coming from our gym, I think, and a lot of it's grown from our gym as well. Like if you look at Dalton Smith, you look at myself, you look at Janae Boston, we've all been at Steel City. Well, Dalton basically walked in there out of Grant's loins, so, and then me and Janae joined him within the same month about 8 years ago. And then we've got other fighters coming through and others joining that are making a big impression in boxing.
Grant's doing really well, isn't he?
Well,
and
fantastic.
The Ingles are still there. Obviously, there's a lot of Jim Colwell's not too far from here.
There's a lot of talent and there's a lot of fighters, and there's also like there's a lot of like small hall showing, a lot of small hall interest. Like you go to one of Steffi's shows, or you go to one of Dennis's shows, or even Josh Wales shows now, or all the other little small hall promoters. I say little, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but the small hall promoters, and they're doing good events. So it shows you've got the fighters there with the interest that people, when you chuck them in the arena, they're ready to fill it up, you know. And that was the sort of idea of this fight: try and give fighters that deserve it, fighters that need a sort of a platform to showcase it. That's why, you know, when we was talking about it, I wanted to have as much of a say on everything as possible where we was doing the public workout. So I said, get everything at Medal Hall. That's where the people are at. You have to put things in front of people. There's no point hiding it, and then people know one being there and you wonder why. You know what I mean? So, like I said, this was sort of my practice run at the boxing promotions, and I'm looking to promote my first event next year early on. So keep your eyes out for that as well.
Well, in terms of this successful defence on Saturday, it goes well, third successful defence. Where are you looking to go? Because there was meant to be the unified fight that didn't happen. You want to, I've seen that you've said you want to step up and go through the weights. What's the plan?
Do you know what? To be perfectly honest, and I thought about this probably long and hard, but I'm quite ADHD, so I'll probably change my mind quite a lot. In all seriousness, I can't just keep sitting here going through killer mandatories for no credit, no platform, no bigger than what I'm bringing to the ring. I'm not scared of weights, jumping up, down, left or right or centre. You'll probably see me changing weights throughout my career, just wherever the fights make sense, and not the easy fights that make sense. I'm talking about the big fights that make sense. Straight away, we're looking at Bam Rodriguez next after this, albeit get through Felix Alvarado. And then,
is Bam coming on, do we know?
I'm not sure. I invited him and I left that with Probellum, so if he's not, that's something to do with the admin team, not me. That's not my job or my jurisdiction. But one thing I will say is, after this fight, he's coming to my weight, said he wants me. He'll be the only name that I'm targeting next. I don't even hold my breath waiting for the Martinez fight, because he's asking for £1 million to fight me, so whatever he's doing, he's just dyeing his hair somewhere in Mexico, I don't care. But if not that, you know, there is no real big fights outside of me in this division, so super flyweights, there's world champions left, right and centre, there's interesting fights. I'll go straight to there next. If I can't get Bam Rodriguez, I'll be looking at super flyweight next. I don't need to sit here and headlock the IBF as that's my only worth and value. I'll go up to a different weight, so I'll go up to super flyweight, I'll go up to bantamweight, and probably higher than that and win world titles, I genuinely believe. I get in there and perform against people heavier than me and bigger than me all the time. If anything, a few weights up gets easier because I get a bit slower. So yeah, you'll see me everywhere. I'm trying to win world titles from here to super featherweight, genuinely, like by the end of my career. And now I've got this world title, I'm going to defend it 3 times. I'll get my IBF ring to you know, show that status. And then, yeah, then that world title won't define me. I don't think I'm going to have 1 world title in my career. That's not even remotely close. I'll be jumping up weights, 2 weights at a time, 3 weights at a time. Whatever fights we can get made, you know what I mean? Big fights, big events that people care about. Yeah, if everyone else don't really care about the fight, I find it hard to care about the fight. I'm a boxing fan. I know the market. I probably know the market better than the fans that think they know the market. You know what I mean? I know what fight is going to be interesting and what fight, you know, people aren't really taking note of. But Alvarado, like I said, is my mandatory, but he's also a world champion that's come up. And I've kind of relished the idea that he's moved up weight, pointing at me, running towards the fight of me. Ricardo Sanders was meant to be a mandatory and he pulled out and would prefer to fight 2 fighters to win a world title than to fight me straight for a world title. So I don't ask people to judge me on my performances, what I say, etc, etc. Judge me on the reaction from all my rivals, because at the moment they've all been partying like Moses in the Red Sea, and genuinely I was British champion for 18 months, 18 circulars went round, not 1 mandatory. I couldn't get 1 voluntary because no one would accept the fight. I couldn't defend it. I won a British title, I had it for 18 months and didn't defend it once because no one would fight me. A world champion, I've had it now, and I've been trying to make the unification fights. I'm not trying to sit on a good contract and, you know, rinse out every bit of squeeze for the fights that I'm having. I just want the biggest fights. I'm not going to outprice myself, because the opportunity of legacy and the opportunity to be something that breaks out of, oh, he had a mediocre world title run, that means more to me than the financial gain of, you know, getting easy fights and picking headhunting. When the Martinez fight fell through, we was in a position where we could have tried to make a voluntary. I got on the phone straight away, said, let's clear up this mandatory now and then try and go for the big fights next year. I don't want to cheat. It means something to me being a world champion. Like, genuinely, it means something to me, but it only will mean anything if I do it the right way and fight the right fighters. I don't want easy fights. I want the number ones, the next challenger, the mandatory, all of that every single time. So this is the first step. Felix Alvarado, a great fighter, got more knockouts than I've got fights. You know, 33 knockouts out of 38 wins, only lost at world level twice previous to that. Come up as the world champion, so he still thinks he's the champion. He's got all that confidence. So yeah, I'm looking forward to again proving my level, again having another fight where I don't really get out of second gear. I do everything in comfort, and yeah, the rain's starting down now. So what? We're gonna wrap this one up, or?
Yes, we will.
Because I got the fur,
you know, as well. Big things to come, but Saturday night first, Sonny Edwards is taking on Felix Alvarado for the IBF flyweight world title.
From sunny Sheffield.